Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Biology Key. Today the topic which we'll be discussing is the energy flow in an ecosystem. Let us see what is an ecosystem. Ecosystem is a biological community of interacting organisms and the physical environment. Both this together forms an ecosystem. This ecosystem needs to be balanced. We have seen there are so many plants and animals present in our surrounding. There's different gases in the environment, but how these things work so properly. So we'll be studying in this chapter what is the overview, how the environment itself manages and balances its ecosystem. So basically there are two main things which needs to be balanced to make the ecosystem work properly. So the two things which are essential for balancing the ecosystem are the living organisms and the physical environment, or we can say non-living components. So these are the two things. The living organism includes the two important things which are need to be carried out by the living organism to make the living world balance are the food chain and the food web. The non-living components include the biogeochemical cycle. The biogeochemical cycle are of two types. The first one is the gaseous cycle and the second one is the sedimentary cycle. Gaseous cycle includes the gases which are essential for the living organism to grow, such as plants and animals, and these gases are basically found in the atmosphere. The examples of the gases are oxygen, nitrogen, which is very important and is present in abundance in the environment, or you can say the atmosphere. Then carbon is again very important as it is responsible for the photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide. In sedimentary cycle, those material, or you can say compound, which is present in the soil, which are not in gaseous form but are in solid form, are again very important as it is taken by the plants and it is somehow carried away with the help of plants to the animals as well. So these examples which we can include are the calcium, phosphorus, etc. So first we'll be starting with what is food chain and food web, followed by the energy pyramid. So let's start. Food chain. This is nothing but the continuous interaction between the producers, consumers, the saprophytes, etc. And this interaction leads to the flow of energy, which is nothing but called as the food chain. This food chain includes all the main components of the ecosystem. The first one is the producers. Producers are nothing but the plants, the one which can produce their own food. They are called as producers. The second thing, those animals which eat only these producers, the ones which are vegetarian, we can say, in scientific way we call them as herbivores. So those are the second thing which is involved in this food chain, which are the primary consumers, also called as herbivores. These includes all the plant eaters, for example the grasshoppers, elephants, etc. After these, those animals which eat the primary consumers are called as the secondary consumers. This includes the frogs, owl, fox, etc. This is eaten by these animals. After the secondary consumers comes the tertiary consumers. Or called as apex consumer. This includes all the flesh eating animals. Example, tiger, lion, etc. Here you all must be having a doubt, where are the human beings? Human beings are called as omnivores because they are mixed. Some eat vegetarian, some eat non-vegetarian. So they are called as omnivores. You can include it in secondary consumers and primary consumers. It is in between. Omnivores because they are mixed consumers, which includes humans. Other than human beings, some other animals like bear are also included in this omnivores. When these animals die, these animals are eaten by the decomposers, which includes the bacteria. When these primary consumers and the secondary consumers, the producers, when they dry it off, when these animals die, they mix with the soil and it is decomposed by the bacteria and all. When these primary consumers and the secondary consumers, the producers, when they dry it off, when these animals die, they mix with the soil and it is decomposed by the bacteria and all. So this overall process in which the energy flows from one consumers to the next consumers, and which this vicious cycle goes on in a continuous manner, is called as a food chain. There is another term introduced here is when, as you can see here, this grasshopper eats the producers, the squirrel also eats it. This frogs can eat the grasshoppers. This fox can eat the flesh of the elephant also, as well as the squirrel also. Human beings eat the plants as well as few animals. This decomposers, you can see, can decompose all of this. So what happens here is there is a web-like structure formed. You can see here there is a web formation. So such a cycle where all the animals are eaten by some other animals and this forms a web-like structure. This structure is nothing but called as the food web.